The night I told my girlfriend I loved her, she broke down in tears. She said she'd seen the future and wanted me to make a promise. When I asked why, she just shook her head. I can't remember the details, only that my future self is filled with a terrible regret. Noah, she whispered, no matter what happens, you have to promise me you'll give me 3 chances. Please. I was so in love with Chloe, of course, I said yes, but she seemed to forget all about that promise, especially when she and her male assistant became inseparable. That's when I finally understood. Because the moment my pen touched the divorce papers, I heard a familiar voice. It was 19-year-old Chloe. She was crying. Noah, you promised me, didn't you? You promised you'd give me 3 chances. Mr. Chen, a generous man like you wouldn't stand in the way of true love, right? You'll let me and Chloe be happy together. The text was from Flynn, Chloe's male assistant. It was followed by a flood of photos and videos. A passionate embrace under the Eiffel Tower, a sweet, intimate moment in front of a masterpiece at the Louvre, and them, completely naked on a beach in the Maldives. There were even photos of them getting wild in front of a floor-to-ceiling window. It was in that moment I knew. The Chloe I loved was gone. We met when we had nothing. To build her acting career, I worked myself to the bone, pouring every dollar I earned into her auditions and getting her roles. For 7 years, I was so exhausted I'd fall asleep on the subway home. I drank so much at business dinners that I ended up with a bleeding stomach. All of that struggle finally built me a company. And Chloe finally became a household name, an A-list celebrity everyone adored. But all those dreams we once shared, she chose to live them out with her pretty little assistant. I didn't hesitate. I drew up the divorce papers. Just as I was about to sign my name, a voice echoed in my mind. Noah, don't. You promised me 3 chances, remember? The familiar sound hit me like a lightning bolt, and my whole body trembled. I turned my head. There, standing before me, was the ghostly image of 19-year-old Chloe. She was wearing the $50 dress I'd bought her with money from a part-time job. In that dress, she was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. I stared at her, a slow smile spreading across my face. Okay, I said, 3 chances it is. Just then, my phone rang again. Noah Chen, I've told you a million times, stop bullying Flynn. He's just my assistant, and he's already exhausted from traveling the world with me. If you cause any more trouble, that trip to the beach I promised you is off. I answered and put the call on speaker. Chloe's furious voice filled the room. I glanced at the 19-year-old Chloe beside me and gave her a gentle smile. Her own face twisted in anger. How can she talk to you like that? How dare she? The younger her was shaking with rage, but the 27-year-old her was cold as ice. Getting bold now, are we, Noah? I hear you've even got a woman with you. You have 30 minutes to get to the Aura Entertainment Tower. If you don't, the 19-year-old Chloe hung up the phone for me. I just whispered softly, that's 1 chance, Chloe. I wasn't sure if I was saying it to her ghost or to myself. It took me 40 minutes to drive to the Aura Entertainment Tower. The area around the skyscraper was packed with people, and traffic was a nightmare. When I finally reached Chloe's penthouse office and pushed open the door, her voice snapped at me instantly. Noah, I warned you. Be here in 30 minutes. And now, yeah, I cut her off coolly and dropped onto the sofa. Chloe's little assistant Flynn was also in the office. His head was bowed, his eyes were red, and he was clutching his left wrist. My indifference seemed to set Chloe off. She slammed her hand on the desk. Noah, what is this attitude? Are you still not going to admit you were wrong? Before I could even speak, Flynn chimed in. It's okay, Chloe. It's just a watch. It's not Noah's fault. Flynn's words only made Chloe angrier, but she forced her voice to be gentle as she spoke to him. What do you mean it's not his fault? He's so petty that he'd steal the birthday gift I got for you. Don't worry, I'm not going to let him get away with it. She turned to me, her voice sharp and cutting. Noah, I'm giving you one last chance. Give the watch back to Flynn. This had happened so many times before. Flynn would frame me, and no matter how I explained,